নোবেল না পেয়ে হতাশা প্রকাশ বাঙালি বিজ্ঞানীর। দীর্ঘ ৩ দশক ধরে গবেষণা পেপার জমা দিয়েও কোনো এক অজ্ঞাত কারণে তাকে নোবেল পুরস্কার দেওয়া হচ্ছে না। প্রফেসর মৃণাল ঠাকুর কলকাতা প্রেস ক্লাবে এক সাংবাদিক সম্মেলনে এই অভিযোগ করেন। দীর্ঘ ৩ দশক ধরে তিনি পলিমার নিয়ে নানান গবেষণা চালিয়ে যাচ্ছেন অ্যালবামা এউ বার্ন বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে। তিনি এই বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের ফটোনিক ম্যাটেরিয়ালস রিসার্চ ল্যাবরেটরির প্রধান বা ডিরেক্টর পদে রয়েছেন।
Related to Nobel Prize and Royal Swedish Academy. I was here about 12 years ago. এই কলকাতা প্রেস ক্লাবেই তখন নোবেল প্রাইজের ব্যাপারে বলেছি, এগেন 2000 নোবেল প্রাইজের ব্যাপারে বলেছি যে দ্য বেসিক অ্যাসাম্পশন for that particular prize, basic assumption that was used is incorrect. 2000 Nobel Prize যে দেওয়া হয়েছিল সেটা হচ্ছে কন্ডাক্টিভ পলিমারের উপর, and conductive polymer is very different than any other type of polymers. মানে normally plastics and polymers are not conductive, they have the electric current pass করে না, সেই জন্য আমরা ইউজ করি ফর ইনসুলেশন পারপাসেস। নাও conductive polymer passes current, so that is a very significant new development, and that happened back in early 1980s. Thank you. Now conductive polymer has two different parts we can divide into. One is conjugated conductive polymer. Conjugated polymer means polymers are built with double bonds. There's a structure, a double bond, and carbon atoms, not double bond, carbon atoms. So polyethylene, for example, carbon atoms, those are all linked by single bonds, polyethylene. And conjugated conductive polymer has carbon atoms but has a sequence of double, single, double, single, double. এই ধরনের সিকোয়েন্স থাকে, the bonding sequence. So this is conjugated conductive polymer. Now back at that time, early 1980s, I reported another important class, actually very important class of conductive polymers. That's non-conjugated conductive polymers. Now the polymer doesn't have a double single sequence. Instead, just act a double bond, separated by as many single bonds as one can put in there. So it doesn't have to be double single. At least one double bond should be in the polymer chain. Then it becomes conductive. So that's what I showed. I reported in the literature. There was a patent issued. Patent was filed back in, again, early 1980s. There was a chemical engineering news. It was also reported in Nature, Scientific American, and some of the many other popular magazines. So now the importance of non-conjugated conductive polymers is that একটা ডাবল বন্ডে যদি হয় তাহলে অফকোর্স ডাবল সিঙ্গেল যতগুলো ডাবল বন্ড দেওয়া যায় তাতেও হবে, এবং এটা বেড়ে যাবে আর কি। The larger the number of double bonds, the higher is the conductivity, which we have all shown. And very recently, of course, Indiaতেও অনেক কাজ হয়েছে non-conjugate conductive polymers, and they have shown that all my works are very established and factual. So, however, if we look at the Nobel Foundation website, which I have copies here, Nobel Foundation website, then we see that they're saying that only conjugated polymers can be conductive. So that is incorrect. That is totally incorrect. So they are overlooking all those experimental data by myself and many others. So, and only they awarded the Nobel Prize, 2000 Nobel Prize, only to those who did found conjugated polymer to be conductive. And non-conjugated conductive polymers, which actually forms the right fundamental basis. So if you have একটা double bond যদি হয়, of course if you have more number of double bonds it will be conductive. So they overlook that, And the theory they developed for the conjugated conductive polymers does not apply to non-conjugated conductive polymers in general. And non-conjugated conductive polymers, we have other theories such as specific theory called Coulomb correlation theory, which applies to both non-conjugated conductive polymers and conjugated conductive polymers. So that was the basis for the nomination, the Nobel Prize, and so that. But the important fact or the positive aspect is that I had communications with the chair who actually gave the committee chair who awarded the Nobel Prize 2000, telephone conversation, and also other interactions with the Nobel Foundation executive directors. And they have accepted the fact that I am correct. It doesn't have to be conjugated. Non-conjugate polymers can be conductive. Actually, conjugated conductive polymers is a special case of non-conjugate conductive polymers. And that is well and good. But what we want is ওই যে incorrect statement রয়েছে যে only conjugate polymers can be conductive, that needs to be corrected. There should be additional information in that website, and they should provide due credit officially, publicly. They should provide credit for the discovery of non-conjugate conductive polymers. Since they're saying they're giving the award for conductive polymers in general, they did not specify conjugate conductive polymers, they would not have. But, so that is a significant error. So that needs to be corrected. So that's some of the issues. That's the first issue that does not happen. No credit was given to non-conjugated conductive polymers. Then in the meanwhile, 2014 Nobel Prize was given for the work in super resolved fluorescence microscopy. Now what that does, what they did is that they essentially borrowed information from some of our older work in nonlinear optics and applied that and showed that resolution can go below the diffraction limit. In the diffraction limit, দুটো particle যদি থাকে পাশাপাশি, যদি তারা λ/2 এর কম ডিস্টেন্স হয়, তাহলে cannot be resolved. So those two particles will appear as one. However, they can use spectroscopy. They'll say, send it one pulse, then there is another pulse called pump probe method. In that way, there is a way to, one can derive an equation which can give a measure of resolution. They can decrease the resolution by increasing the intensity of the laser pulse. That means they can go beyond diffraction limit. However, the basic works, experimental works, were done by myself and some of my colleagues. No reference was made for that equation. And that equation, first of all, there was a legal action taken, but eventually they said that in California, plagiarism is not illegal. So it did not go very forward. However, the judge called it Thakur's equation. So we are using that. Although they use my equation, there's no reference given. So that's plagiarism. So that was 2004. Again, the Nobel Committee did not give due credit. So that is another issue. Then the third issue is that these scientists, of course, will get offended. The incorrect and the plagiarism and all these words are coming, and I think then they started taking revenge. So my research funding they started cutting as these issues were brought up, and so again the U.S. government should not be helping them so much. But in any case, my research funding was cut. And then I thought maybe in India, now there was an application that I did not discuss, and that's of non-conjugate conductive polymers. Now, you see, non-conjugate conductive polymers, if you take the polymer which has just one double bond, maybe then some single bond, then double bond, and so on,